So, it looks like Elon and Vivek are going to be working together as the two-person Department of Government Efficiency, and there's quite a few places where they could cut the fat. In fact, anything with the bureaucracy is, uh, you could definitely cut fat in a lot of places. Um, I think that a lot of people are hoping that they start with the IRS, but I don't think that's where it'll be. I think it'll be um, projects like in the energy sector and generally just um, finding different projects that are being overfunded. Now, I think that bidding is another thing. A lot of government projects can only be bid on by one or two people, and so that in and of itself is a good way to a good place to start. If you allow open bidding on a lot of government projects, then what you will end up with is better prices. You increase the competition for the spot. So I think that's a place to start. I looked around at different spots, in this topic of conversation, um, where there might be the opportunities to cut spending, and part of it is going to be in investments in research, and that may sound silly, but all it takes to get a government research grant at universities is an unfortunately low. Low tier justification, and I know this because I've been part of those before. I've written for $80,000 to $200,000 grants while I was in graduate school. Um, so there's lots of research projects that I think taxpayers probably shouldn't fund. Universities ought to. It ought to be more competitive for them. Stabber, what's on your shoulder is a birthmark. Yeah, it's a birthmark. I was ignoring the spiders guy. He just said spiders a whole lot of times. Um, Now, I have listened to several people's take on this and uh, what it will look like. And I actually saw Elon Musk uh, said something about the electric chargers. Now, I guess the federal government contracted for 7 charging stations for electric vehicles, and they end up spending $5 billion for those 7 charging stations when Elon Musk spends about 170,000 per charging station. So that right there is a huge amount of waste that could have been trimmed off, and that's actually right in Elon's wheelhouse. So I think that that's a good spot for him to be the Department of Government Efficiency. So, Stabber, the government should not spend money unnecessarily. Yeah, well they do, and that's a problem. There's actually like $2.5 trillion of military spending that is unaccounted for by the Department of Defense. So that is another place that they can start. The number of military vehicles, tanks and airplanes that we have just sitting there, getting older and more obsolete. It's it's pretty disturbing to see the amount of money we're spending on that stuff, and essentially that's just to keep the manufacturing companies happy, the Raytheons and the Northrop Grummons and all of those. So there's a lot of material there. Stabber, Vivek Ramaswamy is a nice guy. He's a very smooth talker. He's a pharmaceutical guy, so I don't know. Um, Oftentimes, pharmaceutical backgrounds come with questionable ethics, but you never know. Pickles, you kind of look like my gay neighbor. I think you say that every time you're in here, but maybe I do. Maybe I do. I need to shave, actually. I've got a couple of days of scruff on here. What happened to my shoulder? It's just a birthmark. How did you get the message before your name? That's interesting. Um, yeah, so I'm optimistic that Elon will actually do a pretty good job with Vivek, and I think that Vivek he's a good choice for this. They're both businessmen, and they're gonna have Elon bought Twitter and he cut 80% of the employees out, and Twitter still runs fine. Well, X now, I guess. So, actually, I think he's the right guy for the job. Andy, how do you feel about Trump choosing the Fox News guy for his cabinet, not someone with equal or superior combat experience like Tulsi? Actually, he has combat experience. He's a 20-year combat vet, and he's two Ivy League degrees. He was I believe an officer in the military. He might have been an NCO. I can't remember. I did a quick cursory glance at the article this morning because my thought was the same. Like, what the hell, a Fox News anchor? But I guess he's been the CEO of two veterans um, uh, advocacy groups. Decorated with a couple of bronze stars for his service and his time spent in combat. So I actually am not too salty about that pick. I don't know much about him, so I'll have to see more and see how he does, but it seems like he is qualified for the job. Anything for clicks. I think you're naive. I may be, but expand and we'll talk about it. The one argument that I've heard against Vivek and Elon that makes sense to me is they're going to be in charge of government efficiency, which would include bidding and contracts. Um, and they both have many contracts with the government, or they have done. I mean, Elon obviously does. I'm not sure about Vivek's involvement. He's a what do they call it? Like bioengineering, like for pharmaceuticals. So he's a pharma guy. So I'm sure there's contracts with the government there. So one argument that I can hear about it is that they're going to be dealing with contracts, and yet they're the ones that are going to be in charge of cutting down on waste. So that could be a conflict of interest. I think that the positive outweighs the negative. That's my opinion, but I can understand the argument there. Anything for clicks. These people only care about their self-interest. Maybe. I don't know. That may be the case. I don't know if that's going to end up being the way it turns out. But at the end of the day, man, like Elon didn't have to be involved in politics. Elon is the richest guy in the world, and the fact that he chose to, like, it doesn't seem as though he's after a powerful cabinet position. That's not what he was after. It doesn't seem as though he's like reaching necessarily for political gain for himself, or monetary gain for himself. It wouldn't. What's another billion to Elon? But I mean, I don't know. I don't believe anybody is 100% altruistic. There's some people that, they do a lot of good things, but they like the praise they get from other people. Maybe that's his motivation. I don't know. Andy, Tulsi was an Afghanistan Iraqi war veteran and commander. So was this guy, I believe. Not a commander, but he was an Afghanistan Iraqi war veteran as well. 22 years in the army. Let's see. We crazy few and a baby. Favorite sandwich? I like Good Sense, and I like their turkey sandwiches. It's kind of a basic bitch sandwich, but I like it. Anything for clicks? Yeah, he did. Elon needs those government contracts. If Trump would have lost, he would have lost those contracts, probably so. But I mean, even so, like he could quit everything he's doing right now and live a perfectly comfortable life. So I mean, I don't know. Andy, he only became involved when he started pushing back against woke politics and took over Twitter. Before that, the woke left were slobbing his knob. Yeah, that's true. He was a darling of the left up until he bought Twitter, which is pretty funny. Rico Poskel said something in German. What's up? Corn Pop. Hey, what's up, Corn Pop? Reducing the bloated government bureaucracy is one of the most important things that needs to be done. Look at your taxes, how complicated and convoluted it is just to figure out taxes. Yeah, I mean, the bureaucracy for sure. There's a lot of places to cut the fat, and I think that it should be. In fact, I'm a little more radical even than Elon. I think that we should re-examine the entire Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, disability. The whole social safety net needs to be redone because, as a home health therapist, I see people that are abusing the hell out of all of those systems every single day, and I don't. It's not my place to say anything unless it's like a blatant abuse of like Medicare or Medicaid, in which case that I have to report it. But like generally speaking, like you just go into their house and there's like 15 people living together, pooling their disability and oh, what do they call it? unemployment checks, which in some cases you're not allowed to have Medicaid and pool it like that because uh, you only are allowed to have Medicaid if you have like a certain amount in assets. So at any rate, the point is the system is abused. In fact, when I worked at a Subway in Colorado. There was a lady that worked there. She had 5 kids with 5 different guys, and she was working 10 hours because in Colorado there was some sort of a minimum threshold for her to get the maximum amount from the welfare system. And she was between child support and government aid. She said she was taking home like 8, 9, 10,000 a month. It was like freaking crazy, man. Anything for clicks. The American political has no left. Oh, are you one of these bread tubers? Colton Walton, I'm Batman. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm Batman. Wow, that was terrible. I'm not Batman, if you can't tell. Just insane. Every people's has the government it deserves. Maybe. Nolan Norwood, government paid for Elon and Bezos' little wannabe spaceships. Uh, sure. I mean, they definitely got government contracts for it because Elon is way ahead. His SpaceX is way ahead of where NASA is in their technology. Colton Walton says he lives in the shadows. Big Bad Brains. Tom Holman is the GOAT. He seems like he's all business. I would be afraid if I was somebody that he was targeting. Just insane. Why don't you run for office yourself? Not super interested in it, I guess. I mean, it's always been like in the back of my mind, but I don't think I'm like educated enough politically, and I'm really interested in other things. Like I want to own a gym. I like my job. I like working with patients, and I want to actually try to change the way that uh, people view like therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and move it to like a monthly uh, member based model. I think that that's the future of it. And I mean, I can get into it, but it's probably boring for a stream like this. But I think that there's some big changes to be made in the way that medical care is done, and I want to be part of that. Grandma Daisy, do your feet smell like cheese or onions? Neither one. That's kind of gross. A Dark Owl, Trump or Elon will lose money. Trump lost $1 billion last time he was in office. All other presidents and politicians made millions. That is true. Andy, exactly why they hated Trump. He happily took advantage of the legal loopholes that the Democrats purposely left open so they and their friends could benefit. They hated him because he called him out. Yeah, that's true. That was pretty funny when he said, yes, I did, and so did your donors to Hillary Clinton. That was funny. Curtsy, we don't want. Oh, he doesn't want black people in Kazakhstan, or gypsies, or Jews. Dang. Evan asks, have you ever slept on the couch all day? No, I haven't, actually. I'm not, I'm a very active person, actually. Kilmai, did you know that the Markov 456P9 contributed to integrate? I didn't know that. Very interesting. Andy said, Evan asked, that's called depression. I know it well. No, I'm just, I'm very, very active. If I'm not at work, I go to the gym and then I watch my daughter until it's time for her to go to bed, which I just put her to sleep right before I started this. So, yeah. So everybody that's watching, if you would give a thumbs up, it helps other people find this stream. Um, but as far as Elon and Vivek, I'm gonna kind of bring it back to there. Oh, sorry. Well, I think that they're a good choice for that particular thing. I think they will be effective. I think that the plan is for that Department of Government Efficiency to only last for a short time. It's probably going to be like a 1 or 2 year endeavor. But I think that there's a lot of money that they can eliminate from being spent. I saw. I don't remember where I saw it today. They were talking about like every year we spend $3 million, or in the last year we spent $3 million. Oh wait, no, that's not true. Sorry, let me back up. It was over 10 years. We spent $3 million to test how fast a shrimp would run on a treadmill in cold and warm water. And it had something to do with like the environmental effects on shrimp, which is like, okay, I feel like for something like that, you need to like demonstrate that this is benefiting taxpayers. And that goes back to what I was saying before about like the standard for scientific research, which I got funding for mine in graduate school. It was a pretty low standard. I wrote like one paragraph, submitted it, and got money. And then I spent half a semester writing up a big long proposal, got 200 grand for this study that I started and then passed on to the next cohort of researchers, which is freaking crazy, man. Freaking crazy. Corn Pop. Mark Cuban has special interest in his pharmaceutical company. He's totally and completely biased toward Democrats. The Democrat Party is the party of big pharma. I think that's true, but I think it goes both ways. I don't think it's just one party. I think that you could say the same about some of the Republicans. I think it's a uniparty thing. There's a lot of Republicans that are completely bought off by pharma as well. Lover of Truth, Matt Gaetz as AG. Oh man, yeah, I saw that. That was people are mad about that one. I think he's a fine pick for that. I also saw Tulsi got. What did Tulsi get? Intelligence director, right? I think she'll do a good job. I think that's good. I would have liked to see her as Secretary of State, but I think she'll do a good job there. Anything for clicks. They will not touch the Department of Defense. Maybe. I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them audit the DoD. See what the hell they're spending all that government money on. Woodworking Gunny Bear, transgender mollusk mating habits, $3 million. That's crazy, dude. Jeffrey Rubel, free the shrimp. Fart on the mic for a like. No. I can't fart on command, sorry. Andy, Trump is so good as president, but why does his cabinet always suck? With the exception of Ben Carson, who didn't deserve the smear campaign that was targeting against him, he did well. He did. Well, the rest were. I'm not sure. I think his cabinet is a lot better this time than last time. Last time it was not great. Lover of Truth. Gates has possession of Hunter's laptop. That's amusing. I love it. Mimosa, that's a birthmark, right? Those are pretty. Kind of looks like a patch of roses in some spots. Have a nice day. Thanks. Yeah, it is a birthmark. It goes all the way down my arm. I have a spot on it that kind of looks like a hickey somewhere around here. Right there. Right there. I've actually been, my ex-girlfriend several years ago cornered me and asked me, like, where'd you get that? I'm like, have you never noticed that before? It's a piece of my birthmark. Andy, the rest were garbage, including his former vice president. Yeah, Pence was very, far too conservative for me. Daniel says, Gates is a horrendous pick for AG. Why? Why do you say that? Dark Owl, it was rough in the beginning, but Elon has X trim and running like a top. I hope he can do the same to our government. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, they're going to do everything to wrap it up in red tape because there's lots of people making a lot of money and getting great pensions, and they don't want that gravy train to stop. Anything for clicks? Ain't no maybe. It's a dog and pony show. 42710. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. What a disgrace to America. The whole thing. I don't think that you can single out Joe Biden. Not that he wasn't terrible, but the guy is kind of emblematic of our political system. We need term limits on politicians. I mean, he and Nancy Pelosi are great examples of that. Daniel, a lot better this time. You're in graduate school and you're still capable of falling into a confirmation bias that would allow you to believe Trump is not an imbecile and bad for the country. No, I'm not in graduate school. I finished graduate school several years ago. But I disagree with you fundamentally. And the fact that you think that anyone who disagrees with you is falling into confirmation bias is more telling about you than it is me. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican. I've done my research, and I 100% think that Trump was the better choice this time, so whatever. Andy, I have a stain on my upper thigh. I think they call it a port wine stain. Yeah, that's what mine is. That's what the military called it. Mimosa, would you tattoo it? I've thought about it. My parents are super religious, though, and I've still got a little sister at home that's not 18 yet, and I want to see her. My parents are very opposed to tattoos, and they would. I was told when I actually had booked and paid a deposit for my first tattoo, and they told me I wasn't welcome back home, so I just didn't do it. Woodworking Gunny Bear, multicultural underwater basket weaving health benefits, $9 million. Mimosa, you could do a nebula on it. That's cool. Sweet. Yeah, I could. Lover of Truth. My pick was Matthew Whitaker, but Gates is a beast too. Yeah, some of the picks haven't been as great as I'd like. I didn't like Rubio. Rubio is kind of a milquetoast guy. He's not very interesting. He's not going to do much. Hami Salami, you look a little gassy, bro. Maybe you'd feel better if you. Oh my god, bro, stop! I'm gonna ban you for spamming. I'm put you in timeout. Timeout. Stop. Andy. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, I think Gates is at least he's going to. Um, I think he'll be proactive, particularly with things like the Hunter Biden stuff, and then like the weird, creepy stuff like drag queen story hour stuff in schools. I think he will be a little more proactive with dealing with that kind of thing. Um, Although I'm not exactly sure how much of that he can do. Mimosa broach. Oh yeah, lover of truth. Rubio is a rhino. Yeah, yeah, he is. I think I'd call him like rhino adjacent, kind of like Ted Cruz. Um, I'm not a big fan of Ted Cruz actually. He supported that. Is it Tooney? He supported Tooney for Senate, um, for Senate Majority Leader. And Tooney actually won, which is kind of sad. Tooney is not great. But then again, like Rick Scott wasn't too good either. Rick Scott was pro red flag law, which is crazy. Woodworking Gunny Bear. I think Hami Salami is into butt stuff. Yeah, probably. Nathan, what are we talking about here, team? Just talking about like Trump's picks and will it work and the Doge and all that. Elon and Vivek. Um, Matt Gates, he and then there's the was it Hegsbeth, the guy that the Fox News guy. There were a lot of people pissed off about that guy, and we've come back kind of in circles on that one. Um, he, I'm interested to learn more about him and see what he does. Um, but at the very least, like we know he's got combat experience, and I don't think he's a terrible pick for defense secretary. But yeah, as far as like government efficiency, a big part will be how we're funding different programs, particularly like overseas programs, and those sorts of things. So I don't know. Um, oh gosh, guys, my daughter just woke up. I'm gonna go get her. I may stream a little later, but I've got to go grab her. Um, Yeah, so bear with me for a second. I'll hang out for a couple of minutes, but I've got to go get her. Hang on. Okay. Let's see. Uh, Lover of truth. Whenever they do secret voting, it's never good. Why hide the vote? Yeah, well, they hide the vote because they know that their constituents wouldn't be happy with it. That's what they do. Yeah, this is the second night in a row she's woken up while I'm doing this, but she tends to do okay. Just kind of sits here with me. Here, hold this. Um, I still talk to the chat a bit. Let's see, lover of truth. Yeah, the secret voting thing. I don't think they should be allowed to do that. Um, we voted them in. They shouldn't be allowed to just vote secretly on things. I think that that's like kind of a violation of their, kind of their office. You know what I mean? Like we vote for them to be our voice and then they hide from us what they did. And I'll tell you, these rhino adjacent guys, they did vote. They did vote for this Tooney. So like Ted Cruz. Cruz was backing Tooney, actually. Dan Watt, wait, what secret vote? So when the Senate elects their majority leader, that's a secret vote. We don't see who voted for who. So that's yeah, that's just it's not okay. That shouldn't be a thing. The nitrous Chad, you think Biden was happy Trump won? I think a part of him was spitefully happy. It's very evident that he doesn't like Kamala, and it's very amusing. Actually, when they were at Arlington yesterday, that was like the tension was so thick there. I mean, it was easy to see that Those two were not on good terms. I don't think they talked to each other once. They didn't even look at each other. It was crazy. Naya Boron, Doge. Yes, I think that Doge is a good idea. Now, crypto. Now, here's something to talk about: cryptocurrency. Now, I've never been a crypto person. I've never. I owned crypto, a little bit of crypto, but it was a gift from a friend of mine, and I ended up selling out on it, selling it out. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Ethereum, Doge, or Bitcoin. I don't remember what it was. Some other one that he gave me, but I actually ran out of money while I was in college and I sold it. Um, but crypto is. I think Bitcoin broke 90,000 today. Freaking crazy. Evan S. What happened to your shoulder? It's a birthmark. The nitrous god. How about FEMA not giving aid to people with Trump signs? Yeah, that was Trump actually said something about that, and they were like, "Oh, Trump is, he's just making this up. It's a conspiracy theory." No, no, it was real. The internal messages got leaked. Pretty crazy, man. Dan Watt. Well, I mean, they never really were to begin with. Just like kind of got mashed together. Look at Joe's old policies. He never would have picked her based on his past. No, no. Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a pretty racist guy. If you look at his past, I don't. I think that it was the zeitgeist of the Democratic Party that pushed him to choosing Kamala. Um, but what she became was, I mean, I think everybody realized that she was an empty suit by the time it's all over. I think her political career is done as far as these higher offices. She can probably go back to the Senate, maybe, and be okay in her district. I don't think she'll ever run for president again. She'll never win a primary. Let's see. Naya Boron, crypto can be the new gold standard if done right. It would be nice if we had a decentralized currency that can't just be printed as freely as petrobucks. Government would have to actually balance a budget for once. Yeah, crypto. I'm so torn on it because like it's contingent on like technology and the grid and all of these things, and who knows if you get enough EMPs or you know solar flares, things like that, you might end up with certain parts of that being lost. And I don't. Maybe that's an irrational fear. I like gold and silver and property better, but I don't. I mean, I don't know. Compared to crypto, what do you think? I mean, crypto is way more volatile than gold and silver. I mean, lately gold and silver have been pretty volatile, especially like 2012. But I don't know. Evan S., do you believe in aliens? I wouldn't be surprised to know that they're there, but I don't know that we have any evidence that they exist right now. I would be shocked if, with among all the rest of the universe, if there weren't aliens, though. Daisy Freedom Fighter, but today Biden looks really happy sitting next to Trump, but Obama looks sorry. Dude, I saw that picture where they put them side by side. That was pretty funny. Dan Watt, she will pull a Hillary, get a P.O. box, and become a whatever. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Um, I mean, she's always going to be one of the ones that lost to Trump, though, you know. And Boron, contingent on the grid. We have worse problems if the grid goes out. Well, yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. But I mean, it just depends. Like, I don't know if you go and mine Bitcoin and you keep it in a crypto wallet. Um, it almost feels like a faith-based currency, kind of like what we have now. Like the reason the dollar is worth money is because people believe in it, and it's the same with crypto, right? Like its value is based on people believing that it has value, like the stock market. So what happens if the stock market crashes or you go into a big time recession with the crypto? I don't know. We know that gold and silver will climb in like exponentially in value if that happens, but what'll happen with crypto? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that that crypto is worse. I don't understand it, so I don't bother with it. Humberto Rivera, do you believe in Doge? Doge is doing pretty good right now. People that bought Doge at like a tenth of a cent are doing good. Uh, to Chaz81, Doge to the moon. Yep. Daisy Freedom Fighter is laughing. The Chaz, you can buy a Tesla with Doge. What's not to believe? There you go. Dan Watt, the only real thing of value will be skill. If you have skill and humans use it, when the big suck comes, skills will save you. Yeah, probably. The Chaz, that is a very true point. That's why if you can use crypto to make cash, buy gold and silver. I mean, that's kind of my thought on it. But there's people like Elon that are, huge believers in crypto, and they're the big money people. Um, Maybe that is the way forward. Um, it might be, with the BRICS nations and all of that becoming a thing. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, the nitrous Chad. What do you think about FEMA not giving? Oh, we just talked about. I just talked about that. But no, I know that they quote unquote fact checked him, but no, it is real. It was real. The internal messages got leaked. FEMA was not giving hurricane relief aid to people who had Trump signs. Yeah. Um, yeah, the Chaz. I don't know what this channel is about, but I'm subscribing because it's a good conversation. Oh, I just kind of talk about like news and culture and political stuff, and then I just like streaming when talking to the chat. It's very informal, as you can tell. My daughter's right here sleeping on me. I don't have a big production. I just like to hear people's thoughts and just talk to people. So I mean, that's what it is. Um, just broke 2,000 subscribers this week. That was pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. Um, yeah. But as far as like heavily investing in crypto, like I've never been a big, I've just been shy of it. Although a while back when I first started this channel, I had a friend that was helping me with it, and he and I made we made our own cryptocurrency called Bunch Coin. It's a whole inside joke that goes back a couple of years, but we were handing out Bunch Coin to people that subscribed. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. There's still people out there who have Bunch Coin. I think I've got like 1 million of them in a crypto wallet somewhere, but I'd have to remember how to access it. Lover of Truth said she's a beauty. Thank you. I think so too. She's a very cute baby. The nitrous Chad. I worked Helene as a lineman. I can't imagine not getting someone's power on because of their political beliefs. Takes an evil person. Yeah, it's wild. The Chaz81. Cool, bro. I'm here for it. Sweet. Daisy Freedom Fighter was horrible. So selfish. A bit racist, too. Yeah. Gustav Falk. Crypto is easy come, easy go. Bitcoin is the future. MHMD, what is the live about? We're just talking about wherever the chat takes us, man. You can comment, say whatever you want. We started off talking about Trump's picks and Doge, and now we're on to crypto. So we just kind of hang out and talk. I think Bitcoin may be the future. I don't know, though. Yeah, I firmly believe in like property, gold, and silver, though, as far as investments. I think that's way more reliable, but that's just me. Mr. Bungemoid, I just joined, and the first word I heard was Bungecoin. No joke. I have been summoned. Yeah. Bungemoid. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was just talking about the Bungecoin. We were talking about crypto, and I was telling them how Howard and I made Bungecoin. Um, do you have Bungecoin, Mr. Bungemoid? I don't even remember if I sent you any or not. I know Daniel Clancy has some, but yeah. The Chaz, I'm very shy of heavily investing in crypto. What got me going was the Doge was 3 thousandths of a cent, so I just bought a few $100s worth. Now it's worth a lot more. Yeah, because it's up to like 50 cents, isn't it? It's crazy. Daisy Freedom Fighter. Now he gets a lot of people. Yes, yeah, I do. Sometimes there's like 500 people in these lives. Tonight, not so many, but that's okay. I don't mind. When the chat's moving slower, it makes things easier. Last night was kind of wild. The one guy was arguing about tariffs and stuff. Amusingly enough, if you go look at the comments in my last video, which you guys should do, it's called "Will Trump's Tariffs Work?" If you go and take a look at that, he came back into the comment section and we had a little bit of a discussion. But yeah, go check it out and watch the video. It helps. Let's see. Daisy, Bungemoy. No, I don't have any. I don't have a crypto wallet or anything either. Yeah. Lover of Truth. Digital currency is very dangerous, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that it just, again, I'm not super educated on crypto and like where it's going and that sort of thing. So I could be very, very wrong. Daisy Freedom Fighter. Crazy. Brainwash people. Yeah, it's pretty wild. The Chaz, Shibinu is doing very well, but you're right. Again, real property will always carry the most value. And like kind of the value to your life. Like, I mean, I kind of think that when you think about owning something that means something, if you have property, like you can do stuff with the property. You can, uh, You can make a garden, you can make a home gym, you can raise cattle, you can raise chickens, like, you know, just cut down your grocery costs by growing your own food, and you know, create like a gym and a place for your kids to play. You know, if you buy a piece of property with some trees, you can get your kids out in nature. I mean, that's such an important part of it. Rather than hoarding, you know, $300,000 in Bitcoin, I would spend it on property and be able to use it in those functional ways and make my life better, and my family's life better. That's exactly the way that I feel about it. So, the nitrous Chad, what are your opinions on Trump's new borders are? I think he's going to do a good job. Holman, right? He's I've been watching some of his, you know, now that he's been nominated, he's been put in front of Congress, and they're like arguing with him and stuff. It's amusing to me. So I've been watching him, and he's very blunt. He's very frank and to the point. He's the kind of guy that you don't want as a father-in-law. um, just that I can't imagine like how intimidating it would be to come and meet him for the first time. If he's got a daughter, oh my God, I bet the guys are wetting their pants. No, he seems like a like brutally honest, to the point, very frank sort of guy who's not going to sugarcoat anything. I would be afraid if I was Trinidad Agua or one of those other, you know, illegal immigrant gangs that's been, you know, taking over the apartment complexes in San Antonio and Colorado. I would be very frightened. I think Holman will do a good job. Of the picks so far, I liked Tulsi. I liked Holman. I think Matt Gaetz will do a good job. Um, as far as Rubio, I wasn't thrilled with that one. The defense secretary, I understood once I looked him up a little bit and saw that what his experience was. The Fox News anchor guy, you know, 22 years in the military, NCO, that sort of thing. So there's, you know, there's that, but I'm not sure about him because I just don't know about him. I like RFK being put in charge of the FDA. That's an amazing thing. And then Elon and Vivek, I think, will do a good job. But um, yeah, that's about. This is kind of the first time I've really gotten into politics like this. Like generally, I would just like make fun of things, like laugh about them, and try to be funny. But now I've been more like kind of trying to analyze things and talk to people, and that's actually it's. I'm still learning a lot of things. I think I'll get better at it as time goes on. The Chaz 81, exactly. Property is more than a thing; it's your whole essence in a way. I like the border dude also. Yeah, I think he'll do a good job. ZZZ, Seattleite Jack rose as a young stud in the entertainment industry, overcoming a past of eating dead skin off his feet due to poverty. Oh, I will tell you, when I was in college, I was working three jobs, and for the first about 6 months of college, I was homeless, and man, the diet was appalling. I ate a lot of like little Smokies, wrapped them up, like put ketchup on them and wrapped them up in like the $2 loaf of bread from Walmart. Well, it was $1 at the time. And then Greek yogurt. Oh my God, it was terrible. My diet was horrendous while I was in school. Meet me. He's an officer and still is an officer, by the way. Officer. Okay, so I wasn't sure if he's an NCO or an officer, because I read it earlier and I wasn't 100% sure. But okay, thanks. Yeah, so he's an officer. Daisy Freedom Fighter. I'm excited for 2025. I feel like a child about to get the best president ever. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I think he'll be a net positive. I think it'll be. I think it'll go pretty good. Uh, Ziz says, "Damn, bro, you got to eat though, and three jobs. That's crazy." Yeah. Hey, college is expensive. Undergrad was $20,000 a year, 10,000 a semester, and grad school is 40,000 a year. Um, Not for the faint of heart. Like you've got to understand, like going to grad school, you have to get a job that you can pay back student loans because you have to take out student loans in order to get through college. There's no way to do it without. So you have to be careful, and you have to work as much as you can to avoid building up the, you know, the amount on those loans. The way that it works, like relatively speaking, if you, for every $10,000 that you take out in loans, you're going to pay $100 a month for 10 years. Um, to pay it back. So if you get $100,000 in student loans, you're paying $1,000 a month. That's a lot of money. I had classmates that used loans for everything, rent, everything, and they were in a quarter million by the time they graduated. That means $2,500 a month they're paying against their student loans. That is crazy. That is untenable. Nobody can afford that, and you can't get rid of student loans. Like, even if you declare bankruptcy, they don't go away. So I mean, college, I hate when people say college is a scam, because like college is actually really valuable if you can do it. But people like me, like, I worked my way through. My dad cuts firewood for a living. I got no help in college. I earned my way through. But if you if you can work your way through and get through with, a small amount of debt and pay it off, that's great. But college is so freaking expensive. There needs to be a huge audit of these colleges, and their prices need to be like, you want to talk about price gouging, Jesus Christ. The universities are terrible with it. I mean, they charge whatever the hell they want because people think they have to send their kids to college. It's crazy. The landowner, can this Jew be silent before I use Jesus? Before I use Zyklon B. God dang, that dude he's angry. Hey, thumbs up, guys, if you would. It helps other people find the stream. MHMD Group, I don't think the freedom these cryptocurrencies give is going to last long. Very soon the governments are going to end it. China's already launched digital yuan. Yeah, I think that the governments are going to find a way to regulate crypto. I think they have to. I think it will. I think it will drive down the value of like real, quote unquote, real currencies if crypto continues to do what it's doing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The nitrous chat. My only issue with what you said about buying land is you never truly own it. If you pay yearly property tax, you're essentially renting it. You still do own it. Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. Property tax is freaking crazy. I don't think anyone should pay property tax on the property that their home is on. I don't think they should pay property tax anyway, but property tax where your home is, that's insane. Yeah, I'm highly opposed to that. Lover of truth, if the left is against any Trump pick, I'm for it. It's a moral imperative. Bungemoid, my problem with crypto is this. How do you exchange it when the grid goes down? Power outages, natural disasters, cyber attacks, war. Look at what happened in North Carolina. Physical assets are king. See, that's what I was saying. And also, like, I start to think about, so from time to time I listen to Joe Rogan, and some of the people he has on there. Like, I know that Graham Hancock isn't a popular guy in a lot of scientific communities, but when you start talking about, like, how we're due for a meteor shower, I wonder how that affects the grid, and I wonder what it does to crypto, and whether we would care about like gold and silver at that point ever anyway. I don't know, but I wonder about those things. So the physical assets are far more appealing to me. MHMD Group, is it true in U.S. you don't really own your land? The government's just giving you some of the rights of land to, yeah, pretty much. There are some exceptions, like in Alaska, they'll give you land and you don't pay property tax on it because they just want you there. And there's some places in like Wyoming where they do that. But in general, yeah, you pay property taxes. Daisy Freedom Fighter, broken system. Yeah, I agree. Hami Salami. Oh my god. Still wants a fart. Nope, haven't yet. The Cosmic Show. What's up, ninjas? Property tax is such BS. Anything above like 3% is ridiculous. We don't talk about global cooling. Yeah. Yeah, property tax, like, there's a lot of taxes that just like they blow my mind. Like, you just think about like the trail that money goes on, right? So like so when a company sells a product, it's taxed. The money that they make is taxed. Then when they pay their employees, that's taxed. Then when the employee takes that money, their income gets taxed. Then when the employee goes and spends that money, it gets taxed again. And then if they spend that money to buy property, that property gets taxed. I mean, it's every single step. It's not okay. I mean, I think it's one of the most unethical things, and it pushes me in a very libertarian direction. It's just like, ugh, it's terrible, man. Lover of truth, dang Jack, you got some guns, son. Actually, fitness is actually my big my big hobby. go to the gym every day, well, 6 days a week, and I've done competitive powerlifting. I actually set a couple of state records in the division and the league that I lived in, and yeah, I've played semi-pro football. I spend time in the gym. So, Rin Nunga, what's your dick size? Big enough. The Cosmic Show, Ponzi scheme, tax system. Yeah, it is a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. Lover of truth, they always overvalue your property for tax assessment too. Dude, I know. So when I was a kid, my dad was he did construction jobs on the side, and he got this. So there's a company called Acme Brick. And Acme was going out, it was one of the suppliers that we used. And Acme they were using up all of these. There was a specific shade of brick that they were done with, and they weren't going to make anymore. So they sold them at like quarter price. So my dad bought like 100,000 of them. He was selling them for like a quarter a piece or something. So he spent a crap ton of money because we were able to reinvest it and use those brick. But once we used enough of them, we had like, I don't know, 10,000 left, and he had made his money back, and he thought, well, okay, let's make a wall around the garden. So he made a wall around the garden, and the assessor drove by and couldn't see over the wall. So they told my dad if he didn't let them come and look and see what it was, they were just going to bill it as a building, a composite roof building, because they said that's what it looked like from satellite. And they were going to charge like some insane number, like $12,000 for property tax that year if they did that. So he had to let the assessor come onto the property to see it. Otherwise, he would have got just slammed with the property tax. It was stupid, man. Daisy Freedom Fighter. My property tax in Florida is about $1,700. It went up $150 this year. Property tax should not exist. Income tax should not exist. I'm opposed to both of those. I like Wyoming, Washington, Florida, the states where state income tax isn't a thing. They're doing it right, and the federal government has absolutely no right to tax income, in my opinion. Income tax actually started because they wanted to give themselves a raise. Like that is what happened. It's ridiculous. MHMD Group, property tax is really nonsense. Thank God we don't have it in my country. Oh, you're lucky. Yeah, I mean, every year we gotta go pay tags on a car. Like, you gotta pay property tax on your car. How stupid is that? Like, you pay for the car, you pay tax on the car, and then you've got to pay tax every single year on the car based on its value. That's bullshit. That shouldn't be a thing. Nitrous Chad, income tax wasn't a thing pre-World War II. Yeah, correct. Vita K, sources, bro? What sources for what? What are you talking about? MHMD Group, we just have property tax when you sell your land. Fair enough. X City, hey, what's up? What's up? Vita K, cite your sources, bro. What are you talking about? Cite my sources. Are you referring to the thing I said about income tax? Income tax happened back before World War II. Congress essentially, they were at a standstill on prohibition, and the Republicans allowed the Democrats to enforce prohibition if they would give a raise to Congress, and they funded that raise in part by property tax, or by income taxes. Go look it up yourself. I'm doing a live stream. I can't go Google you a source, but you can go look it up. But yeah, income tax is just a way of, I mean, and Roosevelt definitely increased the income taxes for the social safety net and all of that. I think Roosevelt, a lot of the programs he put into place, the population was so much. The population was so much smaller. It may have made sense then. Where we're at now, I mean, I'm never going to see Social Security, and probably not Medicare, even though I'm paying into them. I'm never going to see. They're going to run out of money. They're going to go bankrupt. The Nitrous Chad, do you think weed should be federally legal? I think weed should be legal, but the problem is if you legalize it right now, what's going to happen is, like, the system is okay where it's at with it being federally illegal but legal at the states. Like, they should just kick it back to the states and have no say whatsoever. But the problem is, if they legalize it federally, the Fed is going to want a cut, so the taxes on your weed are going to go way up, so the price is going to go way up. The other problem is, and this is on the opposite side, if you get caught in most states with a weapon, which you have the right to carry. So let's say Florida, but you have weed in your car as well. Then they're going to call it narcotics with a weapon, and it's automatically a federal offense. So there's a lot going on there that has to be figured out. Big bad brains. What does Diddy have in common with the silver medalist? They both came in a little by. Oh, that's dirty, man. Daisy Freedom Fighter. Yes, tag on Carlson went up $49 and now 79 in Florida. Yeah, that's crazy. It should go down every year because you should uh, the value of the car goes down as it gets older. That's crazy that it went up. It should not be that way. I mean, it shouldn't exist anyway. I'm even like, driver's licenses. Like I kind of understand the need for them, but like at the same time, like why do I need the government to tell me that I can drive a car? As long as I accept the responsibility if I make a mistake, why do I need them to tell me that I can drive? Now, the difference is if we're gonna have like the government funding the roads and stuff. Okay, but I mean that there's a lot that goes into that. That like if you change it, then the whole system has to be rethought. So I mean I understand that it's not really a it's not really it's kind of a dream world to get rid of that sort of thing. Lover of truth, ad valorem is another word for robbery. Yeah. I start thinking about you start thinking about taxes and the way that the government gets their money, and it becomes like a house of cards. Like if you reject, say, one thing, so let's say we reject property taxes and income taxes, then there has to be a reckoning on the other side of that. What programs will the government not pay? Now some of it you could say could be handled by tariffs and cutting the fat of the government. I'd be interested to see exactly how much you could save by doing that. But the nitrous Chad, did you see Matt Walsh's "Am I Racist"? I didn't. Matt Walsh is kind of hard to watch for me. Um, he's a little too conservative, but also I just don't really find him funny. So I've seen clips of the movie, and I thought he did a pretty good job of that one and the "What Is a Woman," but I haven't sat and watched the whole movie. MHMD group. Globally, I agree with income tax because some governments really depend on tax to run the country. Maybe, but it all comes down to like what are the programs? What do you actually need? And if you gave people, if you gave people like more autonomy and required them to be more productive and to take care of things themselves, would it be better? I don't know. Probably the way that things are now and the way that people are so reliant on the government for so many things, I don't think that you could flip to like a libertarian type society. People wouldn't know what to do and it would collapse really quickly. It would devolve into anarchy so fast. So like libertarianism is a good thought, but I don't think there's a practical way to make it happen. Jerry Last just got here. Taxation is theft. I agree. The Cosmic Show. Am I racist? Was hilarious. Nice. Big Bad Brains. Matt is a dork. Cosmic Show, but I understand Jack said yeah. Big Bad Brains. It's a good movie. It could be. I don't really watch TV very much either. I watch my Seahawks play. And then sometimes I'll watch a show if my wife's watching it, but um, generally speaking, I don't. I don't watch TV a whole awful lot. Daisy Freedom Fighter. Stevie Wonder claims he hasn't seen P. Diddy anything. Mr. Scott. Beretta is having a good sale on APX series from the carry to full size under 200 and 300 with rebate. Sweet. That's good to know. The Nitrous Chat. If you had to pin down Trump's win to one thing, what do you think turned the tides toward him? People are tired of being talked down to by the ivory tower Democrats. That is what it is. The Cosmic Show says Stevie Wonder ain't blind. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that people just they feel like the media and the government thinks they're stupid. And you could, let's just say the Democrats are right and that the average Trump voter is really stupid. I don't believe that, but let's just say that. You don't tell stupid people that they're stupid because that makes them angry. So if you go and tell everybody that they're really stupid, it's just going to make them more set in their way, set in their opinion. So even providing for the fact that they could be right, which they're not, but if they were, it's still a bad plan. Jerry Last, I can't even start taking Matt Walsh seriously when he said people who get divorced shouldn't remarry. It's one of the most fucked up things you can say when women choose 85. Well, Matt Walsh is kind of like Charlie Kirk in that they use their religion to justify a lot of their political takes. Like when you see Charlie Kirk talk about abortion, he inevitably brings up his religion. And in a society where there's a lot of secular people, that doesn't work very well, and it kind of gets to be, those of us that don't subscribe to the same religious beliefs as them, it's not a compelling argument to us. So, you know. Daisy Freedom Fighter, I heard before. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Big Bad Brains, condescension is not a peace offering. Right. Well, and that's what I was trying to say last night to the guy that was arguing about tariffs. It's like you came in, started yelling at me about things and acting like I was the dumbest person in the world. Like you're not going to get the most measured response from me if you come at me like that. And that's not to talk bad on him while he's not here, but it's the exact same principle. If the Democrats talk to people as if they're really really stupid or racist, call them Nazis, call them, you're going to get a backlash. And Trump is not perfect by any means. What Trump is a symptom of the problem that the Democrats caused. And the same goes for people like Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is a douchebag, but Nick Fuentes exists because the Democrats are really really stupid. Like that is what happened. They called Nick Fuentes a Nazi, so he started dishing out the takes that he has because he knows it pisses them off, and it makes him a living, and that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. Uh, Big Bad Brains. It's amazing how you're a Nazi has become the new let's agree to disagree. Right. There is no let's agree to disagree. It's always I'm right and you're evil. Like you're evil if you disagree. And that's why things are so divided. And the right is not innocent in this, by the way. There's a lot of times where you see like the right accusing everybody of being a communist when it's like, wait, stop, breathe. Now ask them for their reasoning and then talk to them. Now, I think that the left is far crazier than the right, and they tend to devolve to this "you're a Nazi" thing way, way, way more often. But I've seen instances of it from both sides. The Chaz, here in New Mexico, close past veterans don't have to pay property tax. Oh, they passed a bill. Okay. Hey, that's cool. I like that. Big Bad Brains, I agree 100%. Jerry Lass, yeah, when in his religion God destroyed all the people in Sodom and Gomorrah, he committed abortion on a mass scale. You can be against abortion like I am, but it doesn't have to come from yours. Yeah, exactly. Like I made a video called "I'm a pro-life atheist," where I laid out the secular case for being pro-life, and it is a thing. And what's crazy is whenever I mention that I don't believe in God, I tend to get a lot of hate from conservatives. And it's like, look, right now, I'm not 100% on your side, but I'm supporting your candidates. I'm, you know, in a sense, I'm in your corner right now because of the state of the left. I It's crazy to me that just because I disagree with people on religion, I do get a lot of really shitty comments about it. And it's like, whatever, I don't really care, but accept an ally when you have an ally, you know? Big Bad Brains. I'm thrilled at what Trump has done to the Republican Party. He's definitely shifted it to a more populist zeitgeist, and that's a good thing. I agree. Daisy Freedom Fighter, CIA, Mockingbird Media Group, must go. CAA Casting Actors Association also had a very big grip on the masses. Yeah, but they won't. The Nitrous Chat, I subscribed to you a couple weeks ago. Keep doing what you're doing. I try to tune into these live ones as much as I can. Gotta go help the wife now. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, go do what you gotta do. Have a good night. Hopefully you'll come back in the future. Appreciate it. Yeah, but Democrats right now, like if you had asked me in like 2006, I would have I would have said the Republicans are the crazy ones. I would have said they're war hawks and that Bush and Cheney are war criminals. And fundamentally I was opposed to them. even as a young teenager, because I was like I was like 14, 15 when Bush left office. But I've always been very politically involved um, because my dad was very open about politics when I was a kid. Um, so he was very anti-Bush, um, and Obama was no better. He promised it to end the wars, and so that I think Obama was kind of where the left started to go a little nuts. I don't think it was his fault. I think it was I mean, not all of it. The left really started going nuts when the Anita Sarkeesian types started becoming the prominent left-wing voices on the internet, and in the universities. That is what shifted things. Jerry Last, same here, dude. I get called a libtard and a bigot depending on if it's a Christian or Wokey. Yeah, that's true. Big Bad Brains. I love seeing people that think like me. I've been unaffiliated since Bush. I think most people exist in the center. They get drugged to the corners by bad policy. Yeah, by bad policy or by being ostracized by one side or the other. Like when people get when people go and just start calling you all kinds of names, you automatically are just like, okay, well, fuck you. I'm gonna go to the other side then. And that's exactly what happened to me. Like I actually, my first introduction to like real political thinking was freaking T.J. Kirk, the Amazing Atheist, and I've watched his Drunken Peasants show the whole way through until that broke up, um, and then I kind of wandered into Sargon and Chris Ray Gun and those sorts of people when all of the Gamergate stuff was happening, and so I I'm in kind of the same boat as Sargon, where it's like the left me. I've always considered myself pretty liberal. Like I'm from Seattle, for fuck's sake, but the left me behind. Daisy Freedom Fighter. True, I was thinking the same way too. Obama voted one time. Voted Obama one time, and the second impeachment made me walk away. Yeah. Robert Summerhays, y'all voted in a man that has promised to be a dictator. Good luck with that. Oh my God, are we going there? The dictator on day one thing is absolute nonsense. You're out of context, and yeah, we'll just leave that there. Big Bad Brains, Lamau, here we go. Yeah, I mean, it's exhausting. It's really hard, like when everything anyone says is just, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just nonsense that comes from, like, MSNBC. Lover of Truth, I was just wondering, when your little one grows up, if you're going to go Tom Holmes when she starts dating. My philosophy on that, and it may change because, I haven't been there yet, uh, but she is going to, at some point, start dating. She's going to bring a guy home, and it's not, like, my place isn't really to scare him, but it is to make sure that he understands and abides by the rules. I'm not there to be his friend. I'm there to keep an eye on him. But I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some thinking about that when she's a little older. But I know that it was destructive for me when my parents were very opposed to any kind of dating and that sort of thing. So I'm gonna try to be as understanding as I can with it. I'm also gonna let my wife have a lot to say about that as well. So. Uh, Big Bad Brains. It's all they have. Orange Man is a Nazi. Yeah. MHMD group. You're reading some comments that are not in the comment section. Even when I refresh, I don't see them. Switch to top chat or to all chat. You're in top chat right now. If you click on the three little dots, you can find all messages. King James. When you only listen to snippets of information, you're always going to ask stupid questions. That's true. Mr. Bungemoy, the Republicans used to be the party of moral grandstanding and thought policing. Somehow that shifted largely to the left. Republicans still suck, but the realignment is interesting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the friggin' Republicans who used to be the moralizers, the ones that wanted George Carlin thrown in jail for speech. And now it's the Democrats. It's crazy. Daisy Freedom Fighter, hail to Trump, our God. Oh my God, I can't. Orange Man good. Jerry Last, was he a dictator on day one in his first term? People who say that are actual retards. Yeah, it's freaking crazy. Live chat, sorry. Yeah, that's correct. Bunch of my, yeah. Um, oh my God, my neighbor has this really loud car and he just started it up. And if it wakes up my daughter, I'm going to be really pissed. Can you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? That is my neighbor's car and he does that all the time. It's so freaking annoying. Yeah. Yeah. I think that the shift in moralizing. What's even crazy, one of the craziest things to me is like Eminem, you know, endorsing like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris and like the party of censorship. Like as a kid, like Eminem, freaking Eminem was like the guy who made freedom of speech like a big issue. He's like the freedom of speech rebel, and here he is like endorsing uh, endorsing Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. Freaking crazy, man. Nathan Danner, I still want George Carlin thrown in jail for speech. May he rot in hell. I think he's funny. I thought George Carlin was pretty funny. But yeah, not everybody does. King James, my neighbor has 20 and 30 Harley friends come over every weekend. Jesus, I would hate that, man. Big Bad Brains. When I grew up listening to punk rock, it was all about bucking the system and being self-sufficient. Counterculture today is a joke. Republicans are the new rebels. Yeah, isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Like I mean, I grew up in Seattle. It was like garage bands and grunge, and now all of those grunge bands, like they're all like, oh, you know, got to endorse the Democrats, got to be with the trans agenda and all this. It's freaking crazy. Userman 2024, keep up the good work, man, and may God be with you. Thanks. Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Thumbs up if you haven't, and subscribe if you haven't, and go watch a video or two. I am gonna go lay my daughter down and clean up a little bit, and I will see you guys in the next chat. Thanks for commenting, everybody. See you later.